What if your dog has already chosen a favorite person, a real, specific, neurological choice, and they've been showing you the answer every single day in ways you've walked right past? Not because you weren't paying attention, because nobody ever told you what the signals actually look like. Stay with me, because the one coming up in the second half is the signal most owners dismiss as nothing. And it's actually the clearest proof of all. Most people assume the answer is obvious. Whoever fills the bowl, whoever holds the leash, whoever gets home first. That assumption feels logical. It is also wrong, and researchers have known it for years. Your dog is not tracking food. They are tracking something far more specific than that. Dogs form their deepest attachment templates early, in the first few months of life during a socialization window, where every calm, consistent, responsive interaction is essentially being written into the architecture of how they relate to people. But here's the part most owners never hear. That template does not lock. It updates continuously. Every single day, your dog is running a quiet background process, measuring the humans in their environment against a very specific set of inputs. And most owners have no idea what those inputs even are. So what is your dog actually measuring? 3 things, and none of them are what you think. The first is consistency of calm presence. Not how often you are in the room, how you feel when you are in the room. Dogs are extraordinarily sensitive to the emotional texture of a human's presence. Their cortisol levels, their breathing patterns, the quality of stillness they carry. A person who is physically present but emotionally scattered registers differently to your dog than a person who is simply there, quietly, without an agenda. Your dog's nervous system is reading yours. It has been doing this since the day you met. The second is the quality of one-on-one attention, not the quantity. You can spend 12 hours a day with your dog and still lose ground to someone who gives them 20 minutes of genuine, undivided focus. The difference is whether the attention is on your terms or theirs. Grabbing them when you want contact, redirecting them when it is inconvenient, multitasking through their moments. Your dog registers all of it. It is not a judgment, it is just data they cannot stop collecting. The third input is the one that tips the scales most decisively. It is who responds to the dog's own signals rather than overriding them. You know the person in your house who, when the dog walks over, just lets them settle? Doesn't immediately grab them, doesn't turn it into a whole production, just allows the dog to do what they came to do? That person is scoring points your dog is keeping careful track of. Because what that person is communicating, without a single word, is, I see you. I trust what you need. I am not going to override your experience with mine. To your dog, that is not just kindness. That is safety becoming a person. Research published in PLOS One has documented that dogs show social referencing behavior toward both their owners and strangers, but show stronger behavioral regulation, actually changing how they act, in response to their owner's emotional signals compared to a stranger's. Social referencing is your dog turning to check your face before they decide how they feel about something unfamiliar. A strange sound, a new object, an uncertain moment. They look to one specific human for the answer, not the person holding the treat, the person their nervous system has designated as safe. If your dog is doing that to you, you are already in the running. If they are doing it to someone else in your house, that is information too. And it is not about love. It is about the specific behavioral inputs that person has been sending, probably without even realizing it. Knowing how the choice gets made is one thing, but your dog has already been sending you signals about where you stand. Quiet, specific, unmistakable signals that most owners have seen 100 times and completely misread as something else. Think about the person in your house who, when your dog walks over, just lets them settle. Does that sound more like you or someone else? Drop your answer in the comments below, because what your dog does next is where this gets really interesting. Your dog is across the room. They are sniffing something, chewing something, doing whatever dogs do when they think nobody is watching. And then, for no apparent reason, they look up, directly at your face. A soft, quiet look, not asking for anything, not reacting to a sound. Just a quick, deliberate glance and then back to what they were doing. It feels like nothing. It is not nothing. That is social referencing. That is your dog using your face as an emotional anchor point. Checking in with the one person their nervous system has decided is the source of truth about whether the world is safe right now. Research has documented that dogs show social referencing behavior toward familiar humans, with stronger behavioral responses to their owner's emotional cues than to a stranger's, suggesting the owner serves as a more meaningful emotional anchor. It is not random eye contact. It is a declaration of who they have chosen to orient their entire experience around. The second signal is where they go when nothing is happening. Not when you call them. Not when you have food. When you are just sitting still, not offering anything, not asking for anything. And your dog chooses to be in the same room, positioned towards you, simply existing in your direction. That is not laziness. That is not coincidence. That is your dog's nervous system finding its resting state in your presence. The body settles where the attachment is, and the fact that they are not asking for anything in that moment is precisely what makes it meaningful. It is pure. It is chosen. The third signal is the greeting. Your dog greets everyone who walks through that door. The neighbor, the friend who visits twice a year, the delivery person they have met once. They greet all of them. But the greeting they give you is not the same greeting. The duration is different. The quality of movement is different. Their whole body moves differently, not just the tail, but the chest, the shoulders, the way they press into you rather than simply approach you. Research from Azabu University published in Science has shown that mutual gazing between dogs and their owners produces a measurable increase in oxytocin levels in both species, a neurochemical bonding loop similar to that seen between human mothers and infants. The bond your dog has with you is not just behavioral, it is biological. It is written into their chemistry every single time you walk back through the door. If you want to subscribe and keep learning what your dog has been trying to tell you all along, now is the moment. Because this is where it gets worth staying for. Here is what all three of those signals share. None of them require anything from you. Your dog is not performing them to get food or a walk or a reward. They are performing them because of something they have already decided. Quietly, over time, through thousands of small interactions that added up to a conclusion. They looked at the person who stayed calm when things were uncertain. The person who let them finish their thought. The person whose presence felt like a place to land. And they chose. That is the choice your dog has been running this entire time. Not who loves them the most, who feels safest, who their nervous system can finally exhale around. And now that you know what the signals look like, the glance, the gravitational pull, the greeting that belongs only to you, you will never look at those moments the same way again, because they were never small. They were your dog, in the only language they have, telling you exactly where you stand. Don't forget to subscribe and watch the next one on screen.